Welcome to Full Court Tennis Advantage. I'm Brian Teacher, Australian Open champion, coach, and founder of the Full Court Tennis app, where we now have 780 coaches from over 100 countries in the world on the platform, seamlessly connecting to players for virtual lessons. Today's episode is the first in a special three-part series, which features my longtime friend and coaching peer, Guy Fritz. Guy had a solid professional playing career himself, reaching a high of 203 in the world, despite having a late start in the sport at age 15. He's not only Taylor Fritz's father, but the coach who helped guide Taylor to become one of the best players in the world, currently ranked number 4 on the ATP Tour. Guy also coached Coco Vandeweghe in her junior years, helping her reach WTA top 10 in the world. The insights you're about to hear are coaching gold for parents, young players, and anyone interested in athletic development. So Guy started out as a swimmer and a basketball player before he started tennis. And when he had Taylor, he knew from the start he wanted Taylor to first build his athletic coordination before specializing in any one sport. You know, he was hoping Taylor would become a tennis player, but he never pushed him to be one. Whatever sport Taylor wanted to specialize in, he would leave that up to Taylor. But from the time Taylor was a toddler, he was hitting tennis balls, not sponge balls or kids' foam balls, but real tennis balls. At age 2, even, Taylor had already developed impressive hand-eye coordination. Taylor wanted to play. It was fun for him, and Guy told me he would always leave something on the table at the end of every session, meaning he would stop feeding Taylor balls before he got tired so that he would remember it was a fun experience and want to do it again. That, I think, is super smart parenting. Most parents would push their kids until they got irritated and wanted to stop, but Guy was smart enough to say, okay, let's make sure they have fun and want to keep doing it, which is great. Guy later implemented a multi-sport development model as Taylor played soccer, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, and even golf. As a young boy, Taylor refused to learn to hit a baseball off the tee. Instead, he wanted live pitches from his dad. He started playing Little League baseball, and Guy noted that Taylor never struck out an entire Little League season. He also used tools like balance boards at age 3, home basketball shooting games, and the 8-board to develop movement and coordination. Guy's philosophy was to create an all-around athlete before locking into specialization. Guy believes that the key to early tennis success is coordination, and you can't teach that in a private lesson. It comes from exposure to movement, rhythm, and spatial awareness. Guy famously said, "Give me a kid who played soccer for 2 years, I can make him a tennis player." Taylor's early experience with different sports built that confidence. He had an athletic foundation far stronger than most kids who played tennis. This gave him an edge. Not just physically, but emotionally, he wasn't burned out, and he was motivated to keep playing. Taylor didn't dive into tournaments right away. In fact, he stopped playing tennis between ages 4 and 7 and was drawn away, like most kids, by video games and distractions. But Guy was patient. He got Taylor back into it by inviting friends to hit, creating a social environment at the courts. Taylor's early tournaments were more about hanging out and having fun. He loved seeing his friends and playing ping pong and catching lizards between matches. Eventually, his competitive nature kicked in. By age 8, he was entering sanctioned USTA events, and by age 10, he was beating older kids and starting to separate himself competitively. There was no pushing Taylor. Guy let Taylor push himself, but offered him the avenue to develop his own coordination with learning other sports. Guy mentioned that Taylor was playing 3 sports in high school: tennis, basketball, and lacrosse, and it wasn't until he was 15 that he started focusing on tennis. Guy shared one of the most important principles in Taylor's development after each match. They would review what went wrong and fix it the next day. If Taylor struggled with a slice or a pattern, that became the next day's training focus. That focus is essential in my exact philosophy and why I created the Full Court Tennis app, to give coaches tools to see their players' real matches, identify patterns, and deliver video feedback. As Guy said, that's how you move up the ladder. And I agree 100% with Guy and saw this in my own game and development through the juniors, college, and pro tennis, that every single match you play, you have to learn why you lost and then go to work on those weaknesses and overcome them. If you don't solve the weakness, you don't improve and get stuck. In addition, I have to say, as a coach, you cannot afford to take half a day away from lessons to go watch your student play a match. It's just not economical for the coaches or the parents. But now on fullcourttennis.com, you can get your match recorded, and easily load a video onto fullcourttennis.com website and either have your coach review it or hire one of our world-class coaches for a match review. Players can easily tag various moments in the match so that coaches, they don't have to spend 2 hours watching the match, but can quickly zero in to the problem areas. This way, the student, the coach, and the parent can work together to solve the problem areas so that the player can advance. Having the coach watch the match play is a big key to get your player better. It's not just about lessons. It's about observation, diagnosis, and targeted correction, a cornerstone of Taylor's and Coco Vandeweghe's development. Taylor's story sounds a bit familiar to me, to Mats Wilander, the former #1 in the world, who played ice hockey and tennis and quit ice hockey at age 15 and a half to focus on tennis. And then he won the French Open at age 17. And we all know John McEnroe played soccer and tennis as a kid and into high school. And so it's starting to become apparent that learning other sports at an early age adds to the kids' overall athletic coordination and allows them to more easily develop into a top player once they commit. Thanks for listening to this first episode in our special Guy Fritz series. We're seeing how great athletes are made, not from early specialization or burnout, but from balanced, fun, and smart training. In our next episode, we'll explore Taylor's mental development, how he learned to focus, handle pressure, and become a solver on court. By the way, Taylor Fritz is in the FCT Pro library where you can compare your strokes to his side by side. If you're a parent, coach, or spine player, make sure to download the Full Court Tennis app. It's built for real development, just like the kind Guy and I have used for decades. Until next time, I'm Brian Teacher, and this is Full Court Tennis Advantage.